Hey guys, David Terrace here, lead attorney and head of the federal criminal defense practice at the Rawson Law Firm. What we're going to talk about today is the biggest federal case in the history of the criminal justice system, certainly in South Florida and certainly around the country as well, and that is the indictment of former President Donald Trump. Obviously, huge news. We want to talk a bit about what he's charged with and what the process is going to be looking like going forward for him, specifically starting tomorrow. We're going to have a series of videos on this, both on YouTube and over social media, but this is huge. This is huge for the federal criminal justice system in general. There has never in history been a case of this magnitude. So as most people probably know, Donald Trump was indicted by a federal grand jury in the Southern District of Florida, specifically in Miami, where our home turf at the Rawson Law Firm is, the Southern District of Florida. Now, we have the indictment right here. Okay, it's a serious one. The charges that former President Trump is facing carries hundreds of years. Now, is he going to get that? No, and I'm sure his lawyers are going to do a phenomenal job, but this is essentially, or is, unprecedented. So, talking first about just what the early stages of this process are going to be like for Donald Trump, tomorrow he's going to be going to the federal courthouse in Miami for what's known as an initial appearance. He's going to show up, he's going to have to be booked in by the Marshal Service, he'll be there with his attorney, he's going to have a pre-detention or pre-initial appearance interview that's conducted by the United States Probation Office. This is the same for anybody who is about to have an initial appearance, heard commonly in state court as a first appearance. They will ask him, the United States Probation Office will ask him a series of questions about his finances, his criminal history, his ties to the community, and then once that's done, he's going to be brought into the courtroom to see a magistrate judge for the first time. Now, what is going to happen at this hearing tomorrow, at this initial appearance in front of the magistrate, first and foremost, the magistrate judge will ask Donald Trump if he has already retained permanent counsel meaning counsel to retain him throughout the remainder of the case through trial, or if his counsel has only entered a temporary appearance. He should have permanent counsel appearing at this time tomorrow. And the reason for that is because the indictment has already been levied. Sometimes a grand jury indictment has not yet occurred. It has not yet been officially confirmed by the U.S. Attorney's Office during the grand jury proceeding, but his has. So given that the indictment's already there, he's going to go to court tomorrow. Normally, bond or bail in the federal system will be pre-negotiated with the attorney, in his case, a specially appointed attorney, prior to the initial appearance hearing. At that point, both sides, the government and the defense, will make their recommendation as far as what they believe an appropriate term of release will be, and very likely he is going to be let out on minimal terms of release, but there could be some very interesting special conditions in there related to his, of course, extremely high-profile, both celebrity and, more importantly, political nature, given that he's a presidential candidate. So it will be interesting to hear what happens at the first appearance hearing tomorrow morning. The judge will ask former President Trump, if he has received a copy of his indictment and has reviewed that with his attorneys, which I'm sure the answer will be yes, and they'll go from there. If the government decides that they do intend to seek to have Mr. Trump held in custody, they'll ask for a detention hearing. In a case like this, in a majority of financial crime related cases, that's not going to happen. Certainly, the former president is not a flight risk, nor is he a danger to the community. I guess there are certainly some people who would argue otherwise, but very likely he's going to have a bond set that allows him to sign, possibly have to post some money, but more likely sign and then be released, kind of a catch and release scenario. Still a very important hearing. What is very unfortunate to not only the criminal defense community, but to the entire world, is that the court has ruled that there is to be no public present inside the courtroom. And that is wrong, okay? We as federal criminal defense attorneys and believers in the criminal justice system in general are very, very big on openness and transparency, especially in a case like this. This is a public forum. This is a public courtroom. Only a very select few members of the media are going to be allowed in the courtroom, and they're not going to be able to be recording. And so we're not going to be able to see President Trump's reaction to the reading of the charges. We're not going to be able to hear any statements that he or his defense counsel might make. We'll get secondhand reports of that. There may be a sketch artist in there for whatever good that does. I mean, they're phenomenal at their jobs, but we want, and the public deserves, to be able to see inside that courtroom, and the court has denied that. Another very interesting wrinkle in this case is the judge and the magistrate who was assigned. She has a history with the Donald Trump investigation. She was the judge who appointed the special master, and a lot of individuals, both inside and outside of the criminal defense or justice community, felt that was very wrong. Of course, on both sides, this is a political case, did not feel it was wrong. The magistrate assigned to the case, he originally authorized the search warrant for Mar-a-Lago, and he has been very, very transparent throughout, but there are certainly some wrinkles in this case that are going to make for a very, very interesting prosecution, which is undoubtedly the biggest federal prosecution in our country's history. So stay tuned for more. The Rawson Law Firm is going to be covering a lot of the developments in the case, and we look forward to experiencing this really kind of first-in-a-lifetime situation here with our former president, and we're excited about it.